Uh, I made a mod. Well, database, I guess, for this. It's not done. It's not even really close to being done. But I guess I just wanted to show it off and try to talk, just talk through what's happening here. So I like the idea of a random generation mod where each fighter is just completely and totally randomly generated, and it's had some interesting results. Most of the fighters are ridiculously one note. Uh, the well-rounded are simply average in one or two areas, uh, while having a good area. But like this. But I think some problems we're going through is, if you notice here, very few fighters are above 31. Like Adam Wutan is above 31. I have some 28s. You have some 22s. We don't have any late 30 fighters, I'm pretty sure, in the whole database. There's a 31, Hellhound Pulley. I might be wondering, well, where are all the 31s? There's a 30-year-old 8-ball who's lost his last two here. That's tragic. Where are these? Callum Baker, my heart and joy. I desperately want to get this guy back. He was stolen by Sensation, which, yeah, he has a rival Chauncey. We'll get into that. We probably won't. It's just lore for a game that literally only matters to me. But he's a good test for. This is what a top tier talent looks like in the current database. You might notice he doesn't really know how to kick. He doesn't fully understand how to box. He's consistent at it. He's not terribly resilient. He's mediocre, average at taking a punch. He's really strong, not creative, slightly elusive, I guess. He's good at takedowns though. His Muay Thai is lacking, except he kind of hurts when he needs you. His ground striking and submissions are average at best. He's really hard to be submitted though. Positionally, he is average to below average. He's not terribly uncreative though with his bad average submissions. He's decent at sweeping. He cannot grapple on top though. He has stifling control from the bottom, however, which is a losing position. Callum Baker has to be losing to be good at grappling. Otherwise, he just gets thrown off. Good scramble though, or average. Good at planning. Not very much heart. He's not really into it. Decently marketable. Not very menacing. Average preparation and recuperation. Recuperation. I'm sorry, I'm mushmouth. 100% comfortable in that cage though, and mostly comfortable in a ring. And not very good at weight cutting, which I don't think is going to matter at 6'7" and a super heavyweight walking around 279. Can't negotiate. He has 3 fights and he's had 6. So I'm gonna try to get him at his 5th fight. Everyone likes, but as you can see, that's top tier talent, and he's 26. Well, all of our fighters are like this. They're just not very old. And I think this is missing a very important thing in MMA, which is the young eating the old. The rosters have been incredibly static, really, in this mod. And that's because the ages start out so young, and the eras I have are spread so far out, you're not getting like fighters aging out of top tier. You're getting just the top rising to the top, and the people who can't make it are, instead of being thrown out or, you know, hired onto lesser promotions to do a little retirement run, you have like just the top rising and the chaff being cut. And it's just not, I don't know, it's not like what I like. I like it when this guy's apparently 433 pounds. But I like it when bad fighters uh, and good fighters have to be cut because of age or skill. I don't know how to explain it, but I think that's why I like the real world mods, like the 1993 one. You'll see perfectly fine fighters. In fact, great fighters that you have to see just fade away. You can't have Mark Coleman be your heavyweight champ in 2010 unless you're running like a regional show in Afghanistan. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. That's a problem. I'm trying to solve it. I'm thinking about spreading out the eras and making them way more granular so that you get a natural inflow of fighters, and eventually you'll have that sort of rounded off. What I want to call it, rounded off gameplay where they'll retire out, come back, retire out, come back. Which I don't like because I mean it's the same problem as I currently have. I'm just trying to fix it later, where you're never going to get a retirement for 20 years. Uh, well, really 15, but it's going to be like almost 2010 before the people are retiring from your roster, and they will decline, but if it's no one generating because no one's retiring, you just are static. Sure, he's worse at fighting, but everyone's worse at fighting. Your roster has a 5-year age difference. You know, the old fighters are 36 and the young fighters are 31. So, but with a bunch, you can change that so that we'll have new people coming in at younger ages, and the ages will be spread out, and the new people will get their time. I like that plan, sorta. And the other one was I'm going to generate a bunch of fighters just from all over, not a lot, maybe like 100, and I'm just gonna set them in the world, and I want to set them in at age 30, so they'll have time to still play in your game, but when they're aging out, it's been 8 or so years. The other fighters are aging up into the upper age brackets where they are, and with all the generations, you'll get a nice mix of ages. Sounds good, right? Well, the problem is this is a mod where everyone's supposed to be random generated, and it kind of defeats the purpose of this kind of mod if I'm just generating my own roster for you to play with for 8 years, and then you can play with random fighters. So I don't really like that option either. I think I'm gonna go with granular. I think that's for the best. And it's just gonna have to be. You don't really get any retirements until later, which is kind of sad, I guess. But oh well, nothing I can really do to fix it. So that's probably the biggest hurdle I have to overcome. The next one is teams. Uh, yeah, these are kind of cringy names, but I tried to make it so that each area had a unique team, which covered a couple skills, but nothing, nothing too varied. And the problem with this is I did not account for the game's training features to be, well, so good. I've had fighters on my roster because I started in 1993. It's been 6 years. They've been training at these gyms for 6 years, and they've been going to different gyms, and they've been shopping around and trying to find their way, their styles and stuff. And we're running into the problem of, well, if you're going to a gym that covers good jujitsu, average boxing, and average physical, they're going to keep increasing every time I sign you for a fight. And if you increase all three of those, you're a well-rounded fighter. Which, yeah, it's 1999. You probably should not be a well-rounded fighter. At best, you're going to be a decent fighter into, well, at this point, you probably would be decently rounded. We're not in the dark ages of hello. I'm a karate fighter, and that's all I know. But we're also not to the point where it's like, yeah, my gym, we train uh, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu on the weekends, and I have boxing class, where it's so varied and you have so many skills. Like every UFC fighter is like a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu belt of some sort. Dustin Poirier is a black belt, and I think Paula Costa's a black belt. And it's like, eh, I don't think we're there yet where every fighter is going to get near black belt levels. We may have a couple, but I like Remy. That's what I like about this mod, and that's why I'm making it. I like stories like this guy. Okay, he has some success on the locals, 3 wins. I hire him, and he TKOs Wooden. Pretty good. He loses in it's a fantastic fight actually. He wins our first fight here. So I push him up to the number one contender because this kid's got spunk. He is soaring. And he loses by arm triangle. And he gets TKO'd by Scott Gentry, who's a guy I don't really know. And you might be thinking, well, he's 1-2 in the promotion. I feed him Jalen Dobson, who he submits by a Kimura somehow. He's not really a wrestler. So he's 2-2. This guy is average, middle of the pack. And then he goes on a win streak where he beats the number 11, beats number 6, goes back down and beats number 15. Francis Sledge is a troublemaker. Beats the number 2 by knockout and gets the title. This was a complex situation. Our number 1 contender was the best friends of the champion and refused to fight him. So eventually he was ranked higher than the fucking champion. Then he knockout kicks the champion in round 1. He beats Simbrate in round 1 with TKO strikes. Then when Rosh comes back to challenge him to reclaim his number 1 spot and get the champion, he knocks him out in 20 seconds before finally losing to a choke at the end of round 1. And he's already coming back by knocking out Westerman. I like this. It's a guy who had a pretty decent run as a champion. 4 defenses is nice. And when he loses it, he didn't spiral. So I like him. His skills, he's pretty good at really everything. I think this is, except Muay Thai. I think this is just another failure of the gym system I have where fighters are getting good at literally everything too fast. So I'm thinking about simplifying the gyms until they only cover one thing and they only ever cover average, and new gyms will pop up when fighters sort of age out, which means gyms won't show up until much later. But again, I think it just better fits the game I'm trying to make. Well, not game, but mod, where fighters are pretty simple at first. They have one skill. So we got that. What else? Make classes. Yeah, we're using default pictures for all our things. I plan to, before I fully just finish it, having art for everything. I have a couple more companies planned, but if you want to suggest a company, go ahead. How the fuck is Chokehold still low level regional business? No. Tour company. They have been losing money because they start out companies with $1 million, so they don't go bankrupt. They only use open weight, which they have 50 open weight fighters. They're the most popular fighter is the number 8 bantamweight in the world. Dear God. I made this company like no holds barred kind of thing. Where's their rankings? I want to see this. Their champion is 4-5 in their company, and their number 2 challenger is 0-1. Oh, I live for this. How good are you? Holy shit, he's not bad. Not great. I don't really. This is an annoying song. Holy shit. Okay, that's better. But he doesn't really know how to grapple. But goddamn, he is physically fit, and he is good at kicking. He is good at boxing. I like this guy. He can't dodge a strike, but dear God, what a guy! Accomplished Muay Thai. Ooh, that's actually really good. He can't really hurt you with his knees, which is I think what most Muay Thai damage in this game is. Really, you drive knees into their chest and they can't breathe. From what I've played, but he hits pretty decent with elbows. I like this guy. Uh, he won 2 knockouts. He was on a 2-fight losing streak. They cut him. They cut. Okay, so his win loss record is that bad because he started out in their first event where he had a fantastic loss to this guy. He comes back and wins, loses 2 straight. They cut him. He goes onto the local scene, wins some smalls, wins a large, loses a large, comes back, wins some more larges. Now he's a pretty big guy if he's winning all these fights. His record's 10-4 now. So they hire him back, and he manages to beat their number 6 before losing to their number 17 for some reason in another fantastic fight. And then loses an awful fight by decision, and then gets a knockout. And they go, "Yeah, this guy who's 2-2 in his last 4, let's give him a title challenge in which he knocks the guy out." Apparently, he was also like an extreme aggressive. God, I love this. What's he like? Annoying. May I wish you a long title reign, and he's a lightweight in an open weight division. Could this guy possibly be more based? Their number 12 is 0-5. I haven't looked at this at all. This is the first time I'm looking at this. This guy is not won a fight here, and they're like, yeah, he's the number 12 above such guys as how is he ranked higher than Favela? Favela at least has won fights. I guess he's better than Pepito, who's lost 6. Uh, Remigo, Remigo has won 3 in a row, and he's only 23. Their rankings are terrible. You have 6 Lino. None of their top 10 is that impressive. In fact, 2 of their top 10 have never. 3 of their top 10s have never won a fight in the promotion. 40% of their top 10 has never won a fight at their promotion. Serta has lost 1 fight 2 years ago, and he's not stopped. He has not stopped winning since, and he is ranked below the guy who is 7-1 and has lost to the ranked number 23 guy. That's fucking embarrassing. This guy is 19-1. He is a monster. He has 100% boxing power, 100% ground striking, conditioning and cardio for days. His only weaknesses are he's not very good at kicking. He's not very good at Muay Thai. I guess he's only half in it. He's a bantamweight. Yeah, come work for me. This place isn't good enough for you. This is a mess. God, I fucking love this. I'm gonna have to change them to add weight classes and narratives, but I love that. That is a great fucking. That is a great fucking company. Yeah, I wonder why they're struggling to gain popularity when all their big ticket fighters can't fight. Rules are everything's loud. Alumni. Do they have a Hall of Fame? No. Sensation, I let it get bigger using a script, but God, that's a small heavyweight division. Tour company. They've made money. Maybe Brazil just doesn't have like TV for them. I have to go through the TV company still too. I have to keep adding pictures. You always need more pictures. Sensation's set up to be like kind of like Shudo at first. Uh, even though I have never watched a Shudo fight in my life. I don't know why. I've watched Pancrase fights, but that's just like because I like watching Boss Ruin. But yeah, I've never watched a Shudo fight, but I read a manga about Shudo fighting, and they had 2 round fights, and I'm like, wow, that sounds awful, and it sounds like there would be a bunch of just draws. Uh, so I had to decide around if there's no clear winner. Uh, and they go score about, I rounds by a hole. And I kind of intend these people to morph into Pride in 1997, because I don't want to just add like 4 Japanese companies. It's like I don't think the game can really handle a Pancrase, because Pancrase was so fucking weird. But yeah, we have those guys. Apparently, oh yeah, I guess I'll show you before I go. I just wanted to show this. This is an unorganized video at best. My popularity, high level national. I'm about to hit international. I'm probably only play this game world for another year. I've tested everything I can. The mod has been updated since this starts. I have more fights. There's more companies coming. This was just a rough test to see if it worked, and it worked pretty fine. I think the only problems, I think I found some problems I need to address. I think the only thing I need to do now is add unique broadcasters to the mod. I don't want to use just the base games. I think that's going to be a slow process. I'm definitely just going to keep using the base games for a while. So I do that. Then I want to add, what do you call it? Some drug testers to start appearing so that you can get official drug testing. Fix the gyms so they're not making the most well-rounded fighters in the world in 1994. And I think that's what I don't think I can fix the fighter generation problem. But if you have any suggestions at all, please feel free to comment below. I would love to hear what you want to add, or if you have any ideas. Even if it's like a company and you want a specific company, I'll listen. I have I think I need to add another American company, because I kind of want like a Bellator proxy, but not like when Bellator showed up. Kind of like I'm thinking early 2000s when they show up. I have a British company, and that mimics boxing, and I have an all-female company coming to Japan. So I think those are the 3 I have so far. guess I could go look at them. No. Edit. Companies. Yeah, 6. Women's Fight Club, British Wrestle Boxing, and something called Domination. What is that? Okay, they're based off Michigan, and I guess they're my Bellator proxy. They show up in 2005. So if you have like a company you want to add into the game, I don't want to make more than like 15. So if for some reason I get a bunch of suggestions, I probably won't have to use all. But if I just get 1 or 2, I'll probably just put them in the game. It depends on how it works. Our free images, I probably can't upload this to Grey Dog. I did not ask any permission whatsoever to use these images. I know the guy who made like the Seaverse mod gave me permission, but it's like, eh. So I'm probably not gonna upload this Grey Dog. I'm probably just gonna put it on a Google Drive or something stupid. But yeah, we have all these free pictures. I need to add more. I think I'm to the F's. It's kind of hard to find because female fighter. Yeah, so I'm at Federica Perron here. And those are 2,332 pictures. Will last you a pretty long fucking time. Like, you probably won't fucking have to worry that much. Repeat images, especially if you have 2,500 fighters, the chances are that you're probably not going to notice too many repeats unless the game messes up in the randomization, which does happen, unfortunately. You'll get like the same picture being used 3 times, like rapid fire in a row, and it just really throws me out of it. But you can manually change it, so it's not that bad. I had to have more narratives for. He started in July of 1992 for some reason. Oh well. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with XCC.